All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking at this hour. And this, of course, has got to do with the Israel-Gaza war. And the United States has yet again become the only nation to have vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution that called for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. While doing so, the United States reasoned that this draft resolution of the UNSC that was tabled was divorced from reality, as the Americans saw it, and it would have only helped Hamas. The resolution was in fact introduced after the UNSC Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, had invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter to bring the issue to the immediate attention of the Security Council. He said that the world's eyes are on the UNSC and the history's eyes are on the UNSC to see as to how it would act. Now, despite the US's increasing pressure on Israel to do more to protect Palestinian civilians at this moment, the United States has become the only nation at the UNSC that has again vetoed a resolution calling for a ceasefire. Now, another nation that has been backing the Israeli war in the Gaza Strip, the United Kingdom, which also has a veto, chose to abstain from voting. On the other hand, there are reports that have claimed that the Biden administration has imposed restrictions on the Palestinian foreign minister, limiting his ability to engage with the media. And this is according to the Saudi foreign minister. However, the U.S. State Department spokesperson has denied of any such restrictions being imposed. A delegation made up of officials from Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey and the Palestinian Authority were in Washington on Friday and also met with the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in a vain effort to press the Biden administration to drop its opposition to a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. With the failed diplomatic efforts, the intense fighting continues in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli army has said that it has struck more than 450 targets in Gaza from land, sea and air in a span of less than 24 hours, which makes it the heaviest campaign of bombing that has been witnessed in the Gaza Strip by the Israelis ever since the military pause ended. And this video, which is said to be a body cam footage of one of the Israeli soldiers, shows the Israeli troops carrying out their operations inside of what is a school in the Shejaiya neighborhood of the Gaza City in the northern part of Gaza. And these are images from central Gaza. And here, an Israeli bomb dropped from the sky on a residential building resulted in deaths of at least about 20 Palestinian civilians. Now, the medics were seen carrying an injured baby and a young woman, amongst others, to the hospitals in the aftermath. And there were 20 bodies that were pulled out from underneath rubble, killed due to this Israeli campaign of bombing. And Israel has carried on with its expanding offensive on the ground in the southern part of Gaza. Now, there was heavy Israeli bombardment that was reported over the city of Khan Yunis, and the Israeli army says that its forces are fighting house to house and shaft to shaft in reference to tunnel warfare that's at this moment happening, although the Israelis have also said that they're using technology rather than get inside the tunnels to fight with Hamas directly in close combat. They've also released a video showing the Israeli soldiers on the ground and the body cam footage of the troops entering from one building to another. And this has been the situation in Rafah, in southern part of Gaza. Ambulances were seen rushing to the scene of an Israeli air bombing that has continued to affect the city very badly. And there were also reports of certain rockets being fired from the Gaza Strip towards Israel as well. There were a few rockets that reportedly were launched from the Gaza Strip, which resulted in many of the Israelis running for cover in different parts of Israel. And these are images from Tel Aviv that show the Israeli Iron Dome intercepting some of these crude rockets that are fired by Hamas. And also these are videos that have been put out by Hamas as well of fighting the Israeli ground forces in close combat. Now, many of these videos show the Hamas fighters taking on the Israeli tanks and other armored vehicles, where the Hamas fighters are using these crude rocket-propelled grenades to puncture the Israeli armor. And Hamas has been putting out videos such as this. And this particular video shows one of the Hamas fighters jumping up in joy after having destroyed one of the Israeli tanks in close combat. Hamas, meanwhile, has condemned those chilling images of the Palestinians having been dragged out from their homes, stripped virtually to their underwear and being paraded through the streets of Gaza. Now, Hamas has described this as a heinous crime against innocent Palestinian civilians, while Israel claims that its military will continue to make more such sweeping arrests in the Gaza Strip in the days to come to determine who is a Palestinian fighter and who is not affiliated to organizations such as Hamas. On the other hand, the people in Gaza are going through a humanitarian crisis. There is an extreme shortage of food, fuel, water and medicines. Now, the World Food Programme's Deputy Executive Director visited the enclave on Friday. The organization distributed some amount of food supplies, but this has been dubbed as a drop in the ocean because the 2.3 million Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip for over 60 days have been denied access to food, water, medicine and other essential supplies. Now, according to the United Nations, nearly about 80% of the Gazan population has been uprooted from its homes and has been displaced. And these Palestinians are now struggling to even find water to drink and to meet their other basic necessities of life.
About half of the population in Gaza are starving. The needs that we are meeting is really nothing. The humanitarian operation is collapsing. With the chaos, with this active fighting, it's not possible to do the work that is needed to meet these massive needs. And so we need supplies at a completely different scale.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.